Imagine, first of all, in the cosmos, we have to admit that out of so many things that could have happened, everything gave in such a way so that certain things are possible for the world to exist. But if you look at the possibilities for that to happen, they're pretty small. Altogether, to create the possible circumstances for life to exist the way it does, the possibilities were pretty small. Just in and of itself, for us to exist, the possibilities were pretty small. Now, on top of that, you, like the you that you see right now, you are divided between your dad's balls and your mom's eggs, and then they come together. And even between that process, in that process, and obviously I simplified it, I'm not gonna do all that shit right now, but you get the point. But in that process, you also had a very, very small possibility of being the one that makes it. And now you, imagine this, possibilities for you to be here are like that. But yet, imagine you being someone that says, I have the answers to everything, essentially. The chances that you're here are so small, and yet you feel like you are so intellectual that you need help from no one. That just sounds stupid. Look, I'm sorry, but the reality is, even if we feel so certain of ourselves, if nothing is changing, we should start looking at other options. Even if you feel like you have all the answers, you might need to consider sometimes another option and try to see if that gives more to the situation than just sticking to that idea that you're presenting. But to think that you need no help from no one else, man, I'm sure that you guys, some of you guys have heard this kind of stuff. Look, it's not stupid to feel like you got the answers to everything. Even though you have the answers or you know you're right about something, you continue behaving in that way and nothing changes and the situation just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. But you feel so sure of yourself. Like in a narcissistic way even sometimes. You're so sure of yourself. It's not stupid to then say, yeah, but the situation's not changing and I feel like this is true, like this is right. It's not stupid to say, I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to someone else because I really feel that this is how it is. I really feel like this is what's going on. Am I missing something? Am I not seeing something here? It's not stupid to do that. Sometimes I have certain ideas about the particular things. And sometimes I like to talk to people because I have these ideas, but I don't know how strong these ideas are, how strong in the sense of close to reality they are. But I feel like certain ideas that I have, they're more or less logical, they make sense. But then I might have certain conversations with someone and it's like, no, no. And I'm like, and I that person maybe doesn't have enough information to actually make me change my mind. But if the situation is bad or something, I might still consider, hey, maybe maybe I'm not seeing something and I need to talk to someone that maybe has more information in regards to this kind of stuff to really see, okay, am I really not seeing something? Because I'm sure this is how it is, but am I really not seeing something? I think we can all agree at this point. It's freaking, I look at the watch like I need to look at the watch to say this. But look, I was going to say, we're in fucking 2024, mid 2024. I think by now we can all agree that anyone that says, I am intellectual enough and I need no help from anyone, that's as dumb as it gets. And if you encounter someone that says that, you can laugh, you can chuckle, because it is it is funny. It's funny to even think this. Like, as I'm saying it, I can't believe that some people really believe in themselves like that. Like, you sometimes have to be able to see that that is just it. Like, if I said that I couldn't believe myself, you know, so you could chuckle, you could laugh a little bit. Feel free to do so. But also guard yourself. Sometimes these people that are so like that, they can be a bit reactive. But listen, if you see that the situation is not changing and that other person doesn't want any help because they are like that, if you ever encounter that, that person might be just way gone. Because when someone gets to that point, that becomes so narcissistic. Like, that's a very narcissistic comment to make, to be honest. It's a comment that says you are so full of yourself. It's a comment that says, no matter what, I won't change my view. Like, you could try to bring proofs to these people, and they probably won't try to look at them, but they'll continue to behave in the way they behave. Like, their thoughts and ideas are actually real, even though you have proof to show that it's not real. They won't look at that because they don't want to hurt their ego. Boo-hoo. They don't want to hurt their ego. They're too emotional with that kind of stuff. They can't actually just see things rationally, logically. It's more emotional behavior, egoistic behavior. And you know what? Chances are you're not going to get them out of there. There's a huge chance that you're not going to get them out of there. Now, there's a possibility that, yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you do. But honestly, it'll be fucking hell. You can't be the one to try to change that person's mind. They have to first come and see it for themselves. And then maybe when they come and they talk to you, now you can sort of have a better conversation based on reality and rationality and logical thinking rather than emotional, egoistic, narcissistic behavior. Saying, oh, I'm intellectual enough. I need no help from no one. I made this video because sometimes it's hard to deal with people like that. But what I want you to know is that when someone is saying that kind of stuff, it'll be very difficult to change their mind. So you might be just better off letting them be, letting them go. You mind your own business. And here's the thing. They're still going to continue to think bad about you, or they're still going to continue to like have those ideas of you, even if they're not real. It's what they do. But you yourself, as long as you know, and that's why this is a lot of responsibility on the person. And I say this a lot in my videos when I mention this kind of stuff. It takes a lot of responsibility for you to like walk like you know that what you're doing and what you're saying is true and stuff like that. It takes a lot of responsibility, because if you know it's not true, then you're being the narcissistic one, you're being the egoistic one, and you're being the one that's fucking shit up, and you're the one that's acting like you're intellectual enough. So, and you don't need help. Like that if you're the one that behaves like that, then you're that guy. So don't fucking be false. They're gonna continue. Those people, the ones that are, I'm intellectual enough, so I need no help from no one. They live in a fantasy world. That world that they live in is a false world, and they will freaking impose that on reality, even though you might know that that's not how it is. But it's important that you yourself walks knowing the truth, and you might have more peace that way. I'll leave you guys with that. I'll see you guys on the next video, and please don't be that fucking guy or that woman or that whatever that feels like you are so smart, you're so intellectual, and if you ever hit a slump, you won't ask for help or anything because you just feel like you're intellectual enough and you got to figure it out yourself. Or if it doesn't get better, it's simply because other people are just idiots enough and they don't see it. It's like, no. Ask for help. Fuck. It's not that hard.